Politics heat up on campus as the election draws near.
And later, local businesses get involved with artists.
Iowa goalkeepers take a unique approach to practice.
Will this weekend be the last of the summer heat? I'll have the full forecast later in weather.
All that and more
coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Wednesday, October 9th, and I'm Grace Lathrop.
And I'm Jordan Tovar.
And the third member of our team, Ryan Paris, is live outside to tell us today's weather story.
The weather has been a little crazy these past few weeks, but Ryan, please tell me things are going to start to get normal here soon.
Jordan, I don't mean to break your heart, but the weather isn't going to stay like this for long. Here at Hubbard Park, it's a brisk 51 degrees out right now, and it won't stay that way for long, reaching a high of 79 in the afternoon with no clouds in the sky. In the evening, it'll drop back to 56 degrees and remain clear going into tomorrow. All of the rest of the weather later in the show, but for now I'll send it back to Jordan and Grace in the studio.
Here yet. I've only done the newsroom shots. Yeah.
Thanks,
it's kind
Ryan.
of the same, yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. And two university political groups held events last night, both at the Iowa Memorial Union. DITV's Hannah Lipsky and Draven Murdy have the coverage.
While all eyes are on the national elections in November, local elections are coming up, and nobody knows the importance of it better than the actual local politicians themselves. With the crucial local elections coming up in just a few weeks, the University Democrats at the University of Iowa invited 3 members of the Iowa House of Representatives to speak on important issues, including voting turnout amongst Democrats.
Democrats stayed home and didn't vote in 2022, and we had a lot of races that were decided by a margin that was Democrats who stayed home.
They also emphasized the importance of turnout for local elections.
Only 22 districts in the country out of 435 congressional districts that are classified as toss-ups, coin flips. We don't know which way they're going to go. 2 of them are here in Iowa.
Students' mental health across the country was also a major concern for the speakers.
Team proposal from all 3 of the Regents universities to increase funding for mental health care and access. And that's something that I had a lot of support. I had unified support from our caucus, and really want to see that move forward this year.
While the University Democrats were meeting with speakers from across the state, other student organizations hosted speakers from other parts of the world. I'm sending it to DITV's Hannah Lipsky, who is there to learn more about the speakers' goals.
I'm at the Iowa Memorial Union, where Young Americans for Freedom are hosting Ian Hayworth, a conservative speaker and writer. His speech today is centered around supporting Israel and misinformation about the Hamas-Israel war. Hayworth opened the event by honoring victims of the war, then specifically talking about what happened when Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th of last year.
I want us to take a moment of silence together to remember every single person, not only who was killed on October 7th, but all the people in Gaza who've been killed since, all the people in Israel who've been killed since.
He explained the history of conflict between Israel and other Arab countries in the Middle East and debunked misinformation, finishing with a Q&A.
In 1948, the Israeli War of Independence, around 700,000 Palestinians either fled or were forced from their homes, either by Israeli militia or Jewish militia at the time, or Arab militia. But they never talk about the same or more number of Jews who were expelled from Arab countries.
His main message centered around anti-Semitism today.
There's the idea that Israel are the new Nazis, which is not only horrendously offensive, but also ridiculous.
Earlier in the week, banners promoting the event were vandalized, causing an increase in security.
Especially after the anti-Semitic vandalism on her banner, it was really great to have that space to share, why they, being Jewish, was deeply affected by this.
YIF hosts this event to inform people and also honor the anniversary of the October 7th terrorist attacks. From the Iowa Memorial Union, this is Hannah Lipsky, DITV.
The election is only 26 days away, but big changes are happening in many races.
DITV's Julia Rhodes is live in the newsroom with 2 races close to home that have had some interesting developments.
Thanks, Grace.
2 of 4 congressional races in Iowa are now up in the air for who will win the seat. Each congressperson in Iowa is currently a Republican, but District 1 and District 3 are beginning to sway from Republican incumbents. Marionette Miller Meeks is currently representing District 1 and hoping to hold on to that spot in November. District 1 includes major areas like Oskaloosa, Iowa City, and the Quad Cities. However, Democrat Christina Bohannon is becoming a strong competitor, and the race is getting closer. Incumbents don't often lose re-election, so this narrowing in margins is rare. Yet some were not entirely surprised by this change of events, as this district was represented by Democrats prior to Miller Meeks. This race is important not just in Iowa, but across the U.S., because it is one of very few races in the country that is being considered a toss-up. Nationally, Iowa is even being considered a swing state between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, according to some recent polls. The closeness of this race may even impact the number of people who turn out to the polls next month. Until then, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Julia. Iowa City Healthcare is expanding its services. Yesterday, the Iowa Board of Regents approved an agreement between Iowa City Healthcare and Mission Cancer and Blood, bringing more cancer treatments into the state. Mission Care and Blood already has over 20 locations throughout Iowa, but this will be the first one in Iowa City. This new agreement will bring in $280 million of care for those in need. The University of Iowa undergraduate student government met with nonpartisan organization Hawk the Vote Tuesday evening. The group shared what the organization does for different University of Iowa groups and educates the student government on voting information. Hawk the Vote shared their belief that consistent political involvement is important to having a strong democracy. They provide help through a variety of interactive programs. Hawk the Vote's goal is to increase student voting numbers, educate the community on how to vote, and to create a culture of civic engagement on campus.
Basically, the information about where to vote, how to vote. Some teams request different things. One coming up for the field hockey team, they're requesting a lot more about the importance of voting and stuff like that, while others can request more about how to register to vote, where to register to vote, stuff like that.
The University of Iowa's undergraduate student government will meet again on Tuesday, October 15th. And a store manager of a Jimmy John's in Iowa City was arrested last week. Jillian Marie Begg was charged after an attempt to cover up the loss of more than $8,000 that belonged to the branch. Begg claims that the money was stolen after leaving it in her car overnight in June. After appearing in court, she was released from jail after posting bail.
Universities all across Iowa have banded together to sign off on a statewide climate statement. DITV's news director Johnny Voltman has what was found in the report.
14th annual Iowa Climate Survey had over 100 Iowa scientists endorse it, and 32 colleges and universities across the state, including the University of Iowa, endorse it. The survey found what climate change is doing to Iowa, steps to fight back against it, and stomping out the narrative of climate change isn't real.
You don't hear much of that anymore because I think the evidence are so overwhelming and so widely accepted that we can go to a more productive discussion about what to do about it.
10,000 young people were surveyed, in which 84% of those responded that they were extremely worried about climate change. Climate change possesses the threat of increased extreme weather across the country.
Mexico temperatures from May onward have been at record or near record levels, and that provides yet more heat energy to intensify tropical storms into hurricanes, such as we've seen recently.
The report found that 28 natural disasters occurred last year that costed $1 billion apiece. While the results of climate change are pressing, the government is working to combat those changes.
Significant incentives right now from recent legislation, including the Inflation Reduction Act, to help us purchase efficient electric appliances, weatherization, electric vehicles, home solar arrays, and so on.
On a local level, scientists are recommending that individuals can make a difference by joining organizations or by setting an example with their own.
It's been a great way to feel like you're actually doing something about climate change. And because of the scope of the problem that's been delineated, any step is a good one and an important first step.
Changes people make can help the environment, but also themselves.
Often those feel intimidating, but realize that often there are major benefits that come with them. In addition to the climate benefits they have outcomes in improving physical and mental health.
2024 is projected to be the hottest year on record. The survey found that by taking actions, the effects of climate change can be scaled back. From the University of Iowa, Johnny Valtman, DITV.
New events are allowing community members to stay active and engaged. DITV's Marshawn Gunn is live in downtown Iowa City, where one of these events recently took place.
Thanks, Jordan. Iowa City has become known as a hub for the arts in Iowa. In this city alone, there are over 20 different art galleries. This past Friday, art galleries downtown, along with local businesses, helped showcase artists' work.
What one person likes may not suit what another person might. Either way, it creates conversation. And on Friday, downtown Iowa City gave artists a chance to have conversations about art by hosting their annual Fall Gallery Walk. The walk allows people to go on a self-guided tour through shops, galleries, and other locations that have curated local artists and pieces of art.
It's really a good opportunity for people to see kind of where local art is, where people can see what we're doing in the city and be able to kind of get to know some of the other retailers who are open in town. It's just a good way to promote the downtown.
Places such as Iowa Artisans Gallery, Textiles, 10,000 Villages, and around 10 more showcase work from artists in the local area. These companies feel that without the support from the local community, events like the Gallery Walk wouldn't be able to happen.
And we have a lot of repeat customers who are always very supportive of the gallery. They want to make sure that they're supporting local artists, regional artists, and so it's been wonderful.
This gallery walk's been going on for around 25 years, and the next one is scheduled for this spring. Back to you guys in the studio.
And coming up later, some frontline workers get recognition.
Also, the week ahead in weather and some big developments in Hawkeye sports.
All that and more coming up right after this break.
In Iowa City, history is being made every day, and DITV is capturing it all. The future of our nation.
DeSantis supporters here in West Des Moines were able to take
He is growing in popularity and will continue to be on the upward slope.
His goal was to shock the world at the Iowa caucus tonight. However, the results were a bit of a disappointment for his campaign.
Historic careers.
It's the end of an era.
Nobody was really giving the Hawks a chance to win, but you know what they say. Confetti doesn't fall until the game is played.
Iowa men's wrestling team took a tough loss to Penn State in what was a frustrating meet.
Student experiences.
Bar scene in downtown Iowa City is a huge part of the community.
Here at the Graduate Hotel for the Iowa Miss Heart of the USA pageant.
Local, state, nationwide. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, DITV is capturing history.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in to DITV or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
Now we're going to send it back outside to Ryan for the weather for the week ahead.
Thanks, guys. Taking a look at the week ahead, it's time to get out and enjoy the rest of the summer weather while you still can. Friday should peak in the low 80s, with the sun occasionally poking out from behind the clouds. On game day, we should sit in the high 50s and low 60s during the tailgate and reach the low to mid 70s during the game, with plenty of clouds. That's going to be the last of the warmth in Iowa City for now, as it won't be much warmer than 60 degrees on a windy Sunday that should feel colder than that. The sun will reemerge on Monday and Tuesday, but the cold looks like it's here to stay, as it'll sit in the high 40s in the morning before peaking in the 50s later in the day. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Ryan. And Jordan, we've had a slow start to the week on the terms of sports, but now we're starting to pick up the second half and this weekend.
Yeah, Grace, a lot of Big Ten tilts coming up, and to talk about some of these Big Ten tilts, we got Sydney Goldberg with sports.
Yeah, Jordan, thank you. Iowa soccer has found a fresh way to continue improving throughout the year. DITV's Colin Carruthers zoomed by a practice to take in the new experience.
As the saying goes, practice is how you play. But Iowa soccer has turned futuristic, the train. The world of virtual reality has made its way to the Hawkeye goalkeepers. Brought in by new assistant coach JP Valadares, the goalkeepers are in their first year of using a type of VR headset called an Oculus to simulate two different drills. One is based off reaction and speed, and the other visualizes being at goalkeeper. These games can help prepare them mentally and give them ideas for real-time experience, but with the wear and tear of a season, the physical component is worthy to note.
Shooting balls and doing stuff like that, that's a lot of like physical toll, so being able to do it by yourself and just when you want to come in at your convenience is a lot more helpful when it comes to just kind of getting it done.
I think it's nice to be able to do something and still feel like you're making progress without kind of throwing yourself on the ground when you know your body just needs the day off.
Now, the team uses the system only about 1 to 3 times a week, depending on if they're in season or not, but it still adds a competitive nature among the group with some fun sprinkled in.
We always are like, oh, hey, what was your high score? Or how many did you use your left versus right? So it's like little things like that that kind of just like make us, laugh and joke.
And the goalkeepers take pride in their improvements and skills on the VR drills throughout the year.
I actually think that people don't think it's as hard as it looks. I think when we do the blaze spots, they're like, oh, that looks easy, I can do that. But like once you actually get to like the actual times and stuff like that, they're like, no, it's pretty hard.
And I even got a chance on the VR set and can attest it's not as easy as they make it look. You didn't see that. That one you didn't see. With this unique way to train, Iowa Soccer hopes it continues to aid to their already stellar season. From the Iowa Soccer Complex Conquerors, DITV Sports.
The Big Ten announced the Iowa wrestling schedule for the upcoming winter season. The Hawkeyes will start their Big Ten play against Wisconsin on January 12th. The anticipated matchup against top-ranked Penn State will be on January 31st in Happy Valley. The Hawkeyes, who are currently in the number 2 spot, will also host the 6th-ranked Ohio State on January 25th. Times and TV designations will be announced at a later date. And despite Iowa's blowout loss to Ohio State, the Hawkeye football team is focused on this weekend. DITV's Assistant Sports Director Brady Barron spoke with the players on the week ahead.
After Iowa's big loss to Ohio State, the Hawkeyes are moving forward to their Big Ten home opener against the Washington Huskies.
24 hours is up, and we've been focused on nothing but Washington. I mean, we have a good team coming here, and we got to, this would be a good game for us to bounce back.
After an extended break from Kinnick Stadium, the players are excited to get back in front of the home fans.
It's just, it'd be fun to get back out there, get back in the end zone, make it hard on offense. Everything that comes with playing in Kinnick, using that to our advantage.
There have been some changes to the roster as wide receiver Caleb Brown and running back LaShawn Williams both decided they're going to hit the transfer portal at the end of the season. Both players have seen limited action this year.
For the guys who left, wish them all the best.
You can't lose what you didn't have. So, if somebody really hasn't been out playing, it's like you're losing a lot of contribution.
The game is set to kick off at 12 o'clock this Saturday. From the Hanson Football Performance Center, Brady Barron, DITV Sports.
The Iowa women's soccer team is exceeding the already high expectations this year, and the Hawkeye star goalkeeper is a big reason why. DITV's Joel Keller spoke to Macy Enneking about breaking the program record for career shutouts a couple weeks ago against Iowa State.
I think that was really special for me. I think it was a very bittersweet kind of like ending to that chapter, I think, with my last rival game. So very excited that I could do it there. Yeah, that probably would have been the best place to be besides home.
Going into the Cyhawk game, Enneking was aware she could break the record, but she was the only one on the team to know.
No one else knew. So if someone asked, they're like, oh, hey, are your parents here? And I was like, no, I don't think they are, but I think they're going to be really mad that they didn't come to this one because I broke the record. And they all freaked out. They're like, wait, what? So that was really exciting. Everyone kind of celebrated.
But the Hawkeye goalie wasn't always able to dominate on the field.
Physically, early on in her career, she had a hard time staying healthy.
Yeah, so I've had 3 concussions, 2 broken noses, a fractured orbital, a facial paralysis, torn my quad once, pulled it twice. But I will say that I've saved everyone that has resulted in an injury, so I think they've been worth it.
Enneking was always able to get healthy by the end of this season.
Played in a lot of big games for us at the end of the years.
Enneking dealt with many injuries throughout her first few years as a Hawkeye, but now has been able to showcase her premier talent and her leadership for the team.
Macy definitely is one of the most composed people I've seen on the field. It's been pivotal in big matches and high stress situations, and being able to trust her behind us has been awesome. Use her as almost like a 4th player in the back.
Macy was the one winning games. She's a winner. The team feels more confident with her back there.
Enneking will look to continue her great season tomorrow night. From the Iowa Soccer Complex here in Iowa City, I'm Joel Keller, DITV Sports.
The Fighting Irish Classic took place this weekend, and the Iowa women's golf team were led by sophomore Noah Kent. Kent notched his first top 10 finish of the season and finished just 3 strokes behind the lead, also making him the first Hawkeye to record a top 5 finish this season. Kent finished with 40 pars, the 4th most on the weekend. The Hawks finished 21 over par, taking 8th place, including edging out number 20 ranked Duke. Iowa basketball season is right around the corner, and the men's team is eager for a fresh start. DITV's Elise Gann attended their media day to get a preview of their season expectations.
After losing a decent amount of their previous players, the Iowa men's basketball team is looking to take advantage of their updated roster.
Yeah, we expect to be really good. We expect to win a lot of games. We expect to go to the NCAA tournament. We expect to contend night in and night out in a very difficult league. It's unique in the sense that a lot of coaches really don't know a lot about the other teams, especially the ones that have 8 or 9 new players. So we'll get into it and we'll figure it out.
Over the offseason, Iowa welcomed 2 freshmen and 2 transfers to the roster in hopes of filling the gaps the team lacked last season. Since then, they have worked together to build their chemistry and grow as a group in order to succeed by the time November rolls around.
I think coming in, we knew the possibilities that we had as 4 guys in a freshman class to get opportunities to play in almost every single Big Ten game. You don't get that a lot of places. I think just kind of the steps that we've taken as a team, steps we've taken as a class has kind of been awesome this offseason.
Now, with the returning players getting more playing time, they will also have more time as leaders, guiding the team both on and off the court.
I expect to play a lot bigger role. Whatever this team needs me to do, I'll be there.
Just continuing to try to be consistent as possible. I still want to play any role that this team needs me to do, but just being more assertive, more aggressive, especially to start the year. Because we need that. But we got guys like Peyton, Owen, that are willing to be aggressive as well. So I feel like our team, just with everyone that we got, will be hard to guard.
With this mindset, the Hawkeyes are looking to come back stronger and exceed their Big Ten and NCAA tournament expectations. They'll kick off the regular season at home against Texas A&M Commerce November 4th. From the University of Iowa, Elise Gann, DITV Sports.
So with a big weekend ahead in sports, we got some exciting things to look forward to, but for now I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
And now we'll send it right back out to Ryan with a final check of the weather.
Guys, days after being slammed by Hurricane Helene, Florida is once again hunkering down for another massive storm. Hurricane Milton is currently a Category 5 storm that is expected to make landfall as a Category 3 in the early hours of Thursday on the west coast of Florida. Milton passed by Yucatan, Mexico on Tuesday afternoon, but the region avoided major damage. Milton made history by going from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane in just 3 days. It is also the 4th strongest hurricane in recorded history.
There's a lot of uncertainty about what
Numerous
is going to happen in
countries
terms
have been
of this
given
track.
mandatory
It is
evacuation
predicted
orders, including Pinellas.
that this will weaken, but it was not predicted that it would get this strong to begin with.
Numerous counties have already been given mandatory evacuation orders, including Pinellas County, home to St. Petersburg and Clearwater, Hillsborough County, home to Tampa Bay, and Sarasota County. The Federal Emergency Management Association, or FEMA, said only 9% of its disaster response team is available for Milton. FEMA has already been working on Hurricane Helene relief efforts in northern Florida and the southern Appalachian region. Additionally, the U.S. Army plans to provide 30 vehicles, helicopters, and 100 forces to assist in search and rescue efforts. The most recent forecast predicts Sarasota to be the expected landfall position, with storm surges reaching 10 to 15 feet. Back to Jordan and Grace in the studio.
Thanks, Ryan. And today is a day to celebrate some frontline workers. Nurses around the world are being recognized by their hard work on National Emergency Nurses Day in and day out. These essential workers provide necessary medical care services to support their communities. So many in this profession choose to go above and beyond to show care and genuine love for their patients. Communities are using National Emergency Nurses Day as a way to say thank you for all that they do. Thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. on online anytime at thedailyiowan.com.
For Ryan Paris and Cindy Goldberg, I'm Grace Lathrop.
And for Julia Rhodes and Marshawn Gunn, I'm Jordan Tovar.
See you again on Friday morning right here on DITV. News.